Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the video, I just wanted to let you know, boom, look, it's back, baby. The flower sweater is back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. Go to sadgirlapparel.com, use code 15OFF. I know, very original. 15 off to get 15% off your order at Sad Girl Apparel. We're restocked and everything. Go there now. Okay, now watch the video, please. Hello, Gabby. Yeah, that banana shirt, that's my look. That's my look, damn it. Do you guys feel like you're gamers? And by that I mean, are you hardcore epic poggers type of gamer, or are you just casual Andy Animal Crossing type gamer? Because today we're going to be talking about the most hardcore epic poggers Komodo hype gamer of all time, Gerard Butler. Okay, I know that sounds crazy. Gerard Butler, he's an actor. How could he be the most badass gamer ever? Well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you haven't seen the movie Gamer. You're pathetic! Because I feel like it was one of those movies where you see the cover art, maybe you saw a trailer, and then you just kind of moved on with your day. You never really thought about it again. Well, baby, you should have thought about it. Because let's be real, a movie called Gamer in 2009, I mean, we could all kind of expect that it was going to be a really out-of-touch mess. And boy, oh boy, is it. It's just a bunch of old dudes, you know, using memes, trying to relate to the young people, because 2009 was around the time where gaming was, like, skyrocketing, you know? I actively have avoided this movie for years and years. I've done my best to stay away from it, and boy, for a good reason. If I were to describe this movie in a short summary, you know that show called Mansers from Spike TV? You know how, like, ridiculous and crazy it was? You know, boobs, guns, explosion, bros, beers, you know, that whole thing? This movie is as if the producers of that show decided to make a movie, because the entire premise of this movie is guns, explosions, blood, boobs, sex. And not to mention, beer, just like Mansers, there are so many cuts and fast, loud noises and explosions that it's sensory overload. You literally can't even understand what's happening half the time. There are so many plot holes, it's honestly impressive. The dialogue is that of what I could only assume is just an old man whose only source of gaming culture was Jimmy Fallon's live stream of them playing Among Us.
You guys all hanging out? Trust in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, also, did I mention that this movie was rated R? You know, because I guess gamers just love looking at violence, blood, boobs, sex, guns, and most of all, saying the F word constantly. Pretty much every edgy word you could think of.
Come down, Snevik Hospitality, or come out of my house, and I'll break your legs, you little prick.
So before we watch this movie, I just want to mention something. Don't watch this movie, just watch me watch the movie, please. You will save yourself the pain and the stroke that you will probably have from watching this movie.
Ah, Pig, I would dare to say you seem a bit on edge today.
Well, yes, what do you expect? I had to watch this shitty movie. What do you know anyway? You're not a shrink.
Well, I may not be a shrink, but I am a doctor, and I would just like to tell you that love is a part of a very balanced breakfast.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
So if it's all right with you, let me show you this dating app.
Okay, why would you do that? You know I'm married.
All right, but this gaming app is made only for gamers that are 18 plus. Well, you see, Kippo's not just another dating app. It's modernized and improved to make meeting people fun. It is the #1 dating app for the 2020 digital trend. Do you like Minecraft? Maybe Animal Crossing. Hell, maybe you're cringe and you still play Overwatch in 2021 in hopes that possibly Overwatch 2 won't be a complete train wreck. We all know it probably will be, though.
You know, honestly, weirdly, I kind of feel a little bit attacked by that statement.
Kippo's focus more on the personalization of your profile, so you're not just swiping left and right based on looks. You're learning about people's interests. And making an account is super simple. You just make an account, share your favorite games, build a cool customized deck of cards that show off who you are. Cards are honestly pretty cool. They show things such as your favorite anime, maybe favorite games, star signs, I don't know, many more. And God, look how damn cute I look.
Yeah, I don't really care about star signs or any of that stuff, honestly.
Well, obviously you can't tell me that you and your wife don't play games together. She carries your sorry ass in Apex Legends all the time.
Okay, I get it. All right, yes, we do play games together, all right?
Well, you see, me personally, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy online, and I've been role-playing as a cat boy who works at Catboy Huta.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Stop being a boy loser like this guy. Spice up your life. Find you some friends. Maybe potentially find a lover. Play some games together on Kippo today. Click the link in the description to download the app today and build your profile for free. Trust me, am a doctor.
So how this movie starts out is right off the bat, just big action, guns exploding scene with Gerard Butler kind of moving around with a gun. They do this thing that is extremely annoying. So whenever the quote-unquote game portion of this movie happens, there's glitching, there's like lag, it's just like all the time, and it's so mind-hurting pain in the brain when you watch it. That's not a phrase, but I'm coining it. Because every action scene, you do not know what's going on. It's just camera moves around like this, there's explosions everywhere, it starts glitching, it hurts, honestly. And then right off the bat, we get a guy teabagging someone. Wow, toxic. And just in case anyone missed that he teabagged him, someone in the background yells that he is teabagging him, just in case those gamers out there didn't get the reference.
You fucking teabagged him!
But anyway, Gerard like walks up to what looks like a literal army of people, and he just zigzags his way through all of them, kills a bunch of people, and then makes it to the save point. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, this must be like a virtual world, right? Like there's glitching, there's lagging and stuff. Well, you're about to find out that all this glitchiness and this lagging stuff that happens whenever the game commences, it makes no sense because it's not in a virtual world. It's real life. So the glitching makes no sense. And then we meet this reporter who honestly, I never really understand her purpose in the movie, but she's just in the movie and she has some important role later on. It doesn't really make sense. But anyway, she's there and they start using the F word like 10 times right off the bat.
Fucking years ago.
Just tell me whether we fucking have it.
We fucking have it.
Just in case we didn't know this movie's rated R. And then we meet Ken Castle, who's the creator of Society and Slayers, which we will figure out what those are in the future. And his first line of the movie, not exaggerating, is survey says...
We live in society.
We live in a society, baby. God damn it, we do. We do live in a society. So then we get a little interview with the Blonde News anchor and Castle. And Castle's basically the Jeffrey Bezos of this world. He's just smug the whole time, you know, just a regular smug rich guy. That's basically what he is. And then we learn what Society and Slayers is. So basically Society is a simulation game, basically Sims 4, but instead of simulating in a virtual world, they actually take control of real people in this like society environment. And since Society did so well, he thought, hey, let's pin a bunch of death row inmates against each other and make them brutally murder each other for everyone's entertainment. And it's the same type of thing where a person is controlling the slayer who is killing everybody else. It's just like people controlling people type thing. And Castle's like very, very obsessed with like porn and sex because Society, the simulation world, it's basically like just deplorables. Society isn't like people actually like role playing as different people. Society's just everyone just stands around in a park and dresses weird and has sex and drinks. Like personally, I don't think if this was ever a thing that people would do that, but this dude's just obsessed with sex the whole time. Oh, also a little detail about Slayers. So the whole thing is death row inmates, you know, pin against each other, they kill each other, blah, blah, blah. But if you survive 30 rounds of Slayers, then you get set free. And our main character, who's played by Gerard Butler, he's at number 28. So he's actually the closest ever to be able to, you know, win Slayer and get out free. And that's like the whole basically plot setup right there. And it's funny because how the movie sets up the plot is kind of like spoon feeding a child. Because when this lady's interviewing Castle, he literally just says the plot. That's it. Oh, I made Slayers. They get out in 30 days. I put nanobots in people, and these nanobots like ate their cells and then created copies of cells. So basically, they're just people that can be controlled, which I just want to mention, in what universe would this just be like accepted by everyone, you know? Like this would be an enormous deal. Like in this world, like no one bats an eye about like people murdering each other, people controlling other people. Like no one even cares, it seems like, in this world, which is so stupid. Which could have been a really good addition to this movie, is like that problem. And after their interview's over, Ludacris decides to hack into the system and say, hey, we don't like what you're doing. We're the revolution. Stop it. Stop doing that to people. And I know what I said earlier about like how no one really cares. This revolution we will see in the future is roughly 3-4 people. So out of the entire world, 3 to 4 people care about what he's doing. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on. And then John Leguizamo comes up and he's like, hey, you're not going to speak. You don't speak much. Here, I'm going to tell you everything about you. You're badass. You get stuff done. You don't talk to anybody. You got something to prove. You got something to prove, don't you? So the writers were just like, hey, let's just have a dude come up and just tell the main character everything that he is. I think that would really help out. But anyway, the only name this guy is given is Freak, and he's like somewhat of a friend for a second. We find out Cable, who's the main character, has a family at home, a wife, and a kid. And it obviously seems like he's not supposed to be on death row, like he shouldn't be on death row, but we'll figure that stuff out later. So Cable's sitting in his cell, and then randomly a girl walks up and hands him a piece of paper, says, hey, my son's a big fan, here you go, and then randomly just stabs his hand. There's many questions here. Okay, he doesn't even react to her just like stabbing his hand and sealing his blood. But not only that, her excuse for doing that was to make sure it was authentic. That's pretty normal, right? To get an autograph from someone and just like siphon their blood really quick and be like, yeah, I just wanted my son to make sure that I actually got it from you. So I took your blood. That's cool, right? That's cool. I mean, sure, it has relevance for later on in the movie, but like in the moment, it just doesn't make any sense. So then we find out that Cable's wife lost her child and she's broke and she's depressed. So she ends up becoming a society member. Apparently you get paid to be a part of the society. And what comes next, I can only describe is the most accurate representation of what a real gamer looks like a hardcore gamer looks like. So we just get a bunch of like quick cuts of boobies, butts, you know, girls flashing their boobies everywhere, just butts everywhere. And then this random dude with the pig nose goes up to Cable's wife. And he is being controlled by, once again, the only accurate representation of a gamer I've ever seen. But right whenever the gamer's avatar was about to grab some puss, it seems like there was like a big hack onto the society system, and it was like a jump scare hack. I guess that was the hack, it's just have a little jump scare in there. Also, like, I know this movie's rated R. Don't get me wrong, I know this movie's rated R. But why is one of the news anchors smoking? It's 2009. Why did they make one of the news anchors smoke? Just to be edgy? Just to be cool? Like, I don't get this part. There's so much put in this movie that just seems like it's just edgy, to be rated R. There's no like reason for it. They just do it just because. So then we get another action scene of Cable just going around killing people. We see more people die, more people's head explodes, all that different stuff. And then we get a little sight on the gamer behind Cable. And this gamer is just a 17-year-old kid, which I just want to mention, when you make a game where you control a person to murder people and you put it in the hands of an underage kid, nothing in this universe makes sense. And this part is like the funniest like attempt at being a teenage kid. He says gay a bunch. He says the R word a billion times. And apparently he's like a big celebrity because there's like a bunch of girls showing up on his like big like computer monitor dome. I don't really know what it is.
What's up, loser? Mom says go to college, move the fuck out, and oh yeah, you're a sick retard, you're pathetic. You smell like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Want to make out?
Was that his sister? Did he just ask to make out with his sister? You know what? That's right, gamers do that. So then twins named Cum Dump Stars end up flashing the kid. We all can agree at this point, the kid is popular with the girls. And I just want to mention, the kid's 17 years old. So these Cum Dump Stars twins who just flashed the 17-year-old, you're going to jail. Anyway, after all that happens, the ludicrous humans, little revolution people, end up hacking into his computer and tell him that they have a way where they can mod his game. Yes, mod his game in order to talk to Cable. But the bad guys ended up hiring Terry Crews. Yes, Terry Crews is in this movie. But Terry Crews plays a dude that they kind of hire to kill Cable. Like, the whole purpose of him is to make sure Cable does not win 30 rounds and get out scot-free. They just basically just don't want that to happen because he's on death row, that whole thing. And this next part is honestly hilarious. Like, don't get me wrong, it does kind of make sense and fit into this movie, but for some reason, it just comes off as really cringe. So this random dude, that's right, a random dude comes up and talks to Cable. Is like, bro, what's your secrets? How do you do what you do? How are you going to make it to 30? And he just spills his secrets, which his secrets are ping and lag. So basically what Cable is saying is there's ping and lag when it comes to the person who's controlling you. And so Cable basically says he takes control sometimes. He takes a shot. He doesn't let whatever dude control him because it takes too long. So sometimes he takes control, which I want to mention doesn't make any sense in this movie, because in this movie, they completely control you. Like, you can't do anything. There's nothing adds up in this movie. And then Cable sees Terry Crews, and I guess a way to intimidate Cable is he takes a gun and just like empties the entire clip just looking away from it. How badass is that? Like, he wasn't aiming. He didn't like hit anything. He just shot a gun out in nothingness. And then to intimidate Cable more, Terry Crews comes up. He's like, yo, just killed a guy. Here's his blood. I killed him. Ha ha ha. I'm gonna kill your family. Ha ha ha. And then he disappears. I'm not even exaggerating. They actually like made him disappear like he's a ghost.
I want to get back to him. But I'm going to visit him first.
All right, so the next fight commences, and Cable, you know, he's doing his thing, and then the teenager starts talking to him, be like, yo, I control you. He's like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of it. And also, one more thing. I know it's hard to not talk about every little detail in this movie, but one more thing. Why is the freak, that's just what he's called, I guess, the freak is in this zone of a bunch of people with guns murdering each other because that's what Slayers is. He's just got a broom and he's sweeping. Why the hell does Cable have full body armor and a gun if he's just sweeping? That doesn't make any sense. Also, there's like NPCs in this Slayer realm. Like, I don't know if they're real people or if they're robots. It's never really explained, because there's even one point in the movie where there's like a robot crowd and they're cheering. Like, it's like a crowd of people and they're cheering. And then one robot girl, I guess, flashes her tits. And it's like plastic. It's just like white and plastic. So like, I don't know if the NPCs are real people or not. Not only that, but why do only some people on death row get guns and others just have to stand there and sweep like Freak does? But Terry Crews tries to kill him, but ends up not being able to kill him because the timer goes off. And then Cable's like, kid, give me control next time. That's basically all he says, like, give me control so I can get out of here. So then Ludacris hacks the kid again, and he's like, hey, do you want Cable to let loose? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And that's basically the whole conversation. So another part of the movie that makes, once again, no goddamn sense is that woman from earlier comes back and he's like, yo, that kid is gonna end up giving you control like you asked him. And then even now, like, it was confused me before and it confused me now. The only thing he asks for is alcohol. He wanted to get drunk. And I know a lot of you are confused. Why would he want to have control but also be drunk? Let me just tell you something. The answer to that question is way worse than you think it's gonna be. So Cable's like stumbling around in his fight and he's just like rolling all over the place, like he's flat drunk and he can't really do much. And the kid's like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Why are you drunk? Same question everyone's wondering right now. And you want to know the reasoning behind this is he went up to a truck, went into the gas hole, and he threw up the alcohol into the truck. Now, call me crazy, but first of all, finding a truck that is only alcohol for gas, very rare, very hard to find. But not only that, instead of drinking the alcohol, he could have just hid it in his like jacket. Why did he have to drink it? He literally has a gigantic vest, bro. Just slide it in. The cameras wouldn't have seen it. No one would have seen it. But anyway, he throws up into the truck and even pisses into the truck because I guess alcohol goes through your pee. I don't really know the science behind that. God, the writers must have felt so smart when they wrote this, dear God. But anyway, somehow miraculously the truck starts and he ends up getting out of there. So then that one girl who stole blood from him earlier ends up appearing and being like, yo, let me take you to our little hideout area, the Resistance. You know, this must be an army of people. The Resistance against this society thing that literally controls people. This has to be like at least 50% of the human race that hates this. There has to be a huge resistance. Oh, it's just for nerds in quotations because they're playing games. And I'm assuming the movie wants us to assume that they're nerds. Okay. So anyway, Cable's wife is back into the society game and is going around, you know, talking to random dudes. And for some weird reason, the news anchor, yes, the news anchor goes out to search for Cable's wife to save her. There isn't really a reason why. It's not like she knows them or cares about any of this, but she's just there. I don't know why. So Cable's wife sits down at a bar, and a guy named Rick Rape, yep, that's his name, dear Lord. They end up chatting a bit, their avatars chat a bit, and then they go back to the room in order to get some nice, sexy bang bang going on. And then Cable comes in and just fucking murders the guy. He murders the avatar. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. This isn't the person that's doing it. The person controlling the person is doing it. So he just killed an innocent dude, probably just needing some money. What the hell, Cable? The fuck's wrong with you, dude? Like, I know he's about to sleep with your wife and all, but it's like, it's not even him that's doing it. So Terry Crews comes out of nowhere, shoots a goddamn grenade launcher. Yes, a grenade launcher. And obviously, his bulletproof vest can apparently stop grenades as well. And the hardcore sweaty gamer, for some reason, is just enjoying all this and tells Terry Crews' characters to go ahead and just murder the people in front of him while he's sweating profusely. Again, the most accurate representation of a real gamer. So Cable ends up coming back, taking her away, and then the news anchor saves him. Oh yeah, and somehow this little revolution community they got going on were able to find a way to reverse the control of, like, people controlling them, you know, like those little nanobots that are inside of them. They figured out a way to stop, like, the signal or whatever. And also we learn a little bit of backstory about Cable and why he ended up in prison and why he ended up on death row. Cable ended up murdering his friend in cold blood because apparently both of them were like soldiers, and they ended up doing tests on them about this thing to basically rebuild your brain from the ground up type thing. But he didn't know that it was actually plans for society and Slayer. So they ended up just controlling his body and making Cable kill his friend, and then making Cable go to prison and serve you know, life in prison, basically on death row, and then he's in Slayer. So basically, there's no reason for him to be in prison. There's no reason for any of this. This whole movie's stupid, and I want to go home. And then we have the dumbest final, I guess, boss fight, you can call it. It's Cable versus Jeff Bezos. And how the entire fight starts out is they do a dance routine of I Got You Under My Skin by Frank Sinatra. I know it's supposed to be like symbolic, like, hey, I got control of you, I've got you under my skin, but it just comes off as very pointless. And then once again, Cable just murders all of these people, just one-man army, destroys all of them. And then Castle's like, oh, good job, you're really good, but the thing is, I'm a transmitter and everybody else is a receiver, because I guess he replaced all of his cells with nanobots that send signals and everybody else receives them. So basically, long story short, he controls the entire world now. Oh yeah, also side note, the revolution of 4 people are all dead now, so that happened, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that they all died because it was kind of such a pointless side story, but they're dead now, so okay. So they walk through space and time and then end up in a basketball court. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. It basically just looks like they just walk through space. Him and Terry Crews get in a fight, and he kills Terry Crews, which, what? If he could kill Terry Crews' character this whole time, what was the point of, like, escaping? Like, he could have easily just won the 30 rounds and then escaped and got set free. But, you know, whatever. That's a whole other thing. So while it's the final bout of Castle versus Cable, it looks like the news reporter somehow is just a goddamn mastermind, figured out how to transmit all of the signal from, again, I don't understand how they're getting video footage. They transmitted their entire fight to every signal in the world, basically. So everyone's watching Castle be a complete asshole. So Castle brings out Cable's family and he's like, yo, I'm gonna make you kill your own daughter. So then, you know, Castle's like, I don't want to kill my daughter. But then that 17-year-old kid who was controlling him before ends up taking control of Cable this time. And then he starts getting the upper hand. And in a panic, Castle calls his team the R word. He said, jam the signal, you R-words. I don't know who his team is, but they're just there watching. And how Cable ends up killing Castle is by basically just making Castle imagine the knife going into his gut. He just keeps saying, hey, imagine this knife going in your gut. And he's like, oh no, I'm imagining it. And then he dies. And then Castle's like team, who I would just like to say watched Cable kill Castle, are just like walking away like robots. And then Cable's like, hey, set us all free. And then he presses a button and then he's like, well played. GG, bro. Good game. Well played. Dear God, I hate this movie so much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Gamer. By far the most painful movie I've ever had to sit through in a while. But thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like the video. Comment below on what you would like me to review next. And I'm gonna go play some Fortnite, some Among Us, But make sure to go check out Sad Girl Apparel. Also, guys, please make sure to check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BionicPigTV, and my Bionicpig live channel where I upload highlights of my live stream. Thank you. Or should I say, good game.